everyone, how are you? So in this video I'm going to be doing a review of sorts, a comparison between two watercolor papers, and I just want to do it for fun and also for myself as well, just to see how this turns out. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be comparing Arches cold press watercolor paper with a new watercolor paper from Koviede. It looks like the brand name looks like Koviede to me. I don't know, Koviede. Whatever. So now this is a much cheaper paper. They're both supposed to 100% cotton, and they're both, but the price difference is very different, right? So we have Arches, which you can get a 9x12, 140-pound block for $45, and the Koviede paper, if I can get the image up. Oh, there we go. The Koviede, you get 3 9x12 packs for $39.99. So you're talking a huge price difference, as just one of these Koviede is $13. So $13 for one pack, one block of Koviede paper of 100% pure cotton. Again, cold press, 140 pound. So it's the same 140 pound cold press, 100% cotton. You get 30 sheets in this book, and you get 20 sheets in the Arches. So Arches is much more than, so 45 again for this one for 20 sheets. So huge price difference. So for that reason, I think we know even before we start that, you know, this is the better paper. I mean, Arches is the best. That, and I believe, you know, there's a couple others, Fabriano's also at top level, but still I like using cheaper paper, you know, especially when I'm just painting things that I know I'm not trying to sell or you know, just practice and whatnot. And you know, there are benefits to a cheaper paper, which usually has wood pulp in it, and it causes the paint, the watercolor paint, to sit on top of the paper more, which can be an advantage with lifting, or if you make a mistake, you know, lifting it off, very easy to do, very, you know. So there are advantages to the cheaper paper with that, but also there's challenges because you're not going to get such good vibrant results easily. And yeah, so in general, your painting will look much better on the Arches quality, or that similar to Arches quality paper. So, but yeah, for $13, you know, but I wanted to just in this video, instead of just doing a review, like, you know, just in general talking about it and putting, you know, lines of paint on or whatnot, I've decided to do something a little different. And before I start, basically, these are a couple of paintings I did recently on this Koviede paper. So here's one portrait I just did, and another one, and I really like how they came out. So I think that you can get very good results with the cheaper paper. So it's not now, even though it says it's 100% cotton, it does feel very different from now this is a sheet, an extra sheet I have, scrap paper I'm going to use of the Arches. There is a more of a heaviness. I think it's the way it's compacted together, that the paper is tighter, smoother, equal, way it's sewn together, or however you call it when you put the cotton together. Whereas on the cheaper one, on the Koviede, you can see that the lines in it are further apart, they're wider, so it's not so tightly bound together. So you can see the difference when you look at the paper and feel the lightness. This feels much lighter than this paper. This paper has much more density to it. And it's much firmer, like it doesn't bend as easily. This one, you know, well, they're both kind of firm, but there's a You just tell you're not going to rip this as easily. This will rip much easier than this one. This is much denser and stronger. And yeah, so anyways, but like I said, I do enjoy cheaper papers, using cheaper watercolor paper, and you can get excellent results. So I recommend starting out, and when you're doing work that you know you're not going to be trying to make something to frame or sell, it's great paper to use. So what I'm going to do, just to show the difference between how the paint works on these two different watercolor papers, I'm going to take this scrap piece of paper. I had started doing a leaf design on this Arches watercolor paper, because I don't want to use a fresh sheet of Arches paper. You don't like wasting it when you buy the expensive. That's why I like doing a lot of painting with cheaper paper. So if I mess it up, I don't feel bad about wasting good paper. But so all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this extra Arches that I abandoned work here. I started but abandoned. I'm going to just use this half of it. This is watercolor pencil. I had drawn a few lines, so that will evaporate when I add water. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this the Koviede paper, the cheaper paper here, and I'm going to tape them together. And so I get half Koviede, half Arches. You can see the color tone's a bit different as well. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint a face here, and half the face will be on the Koviede and half will be on the Arches. So you can see in real time how and I'll be using the exact same, paint and at the same time, so you'll be able to see in real life as the painting goes on how differently or not that the paint comes out as I'm working on this painting. So I thought that would be a little bit more interesting than just sitting and talking about the paper. So here we go. I'm going to get this set up and we'll start the painting. Okay, so I've sketched this picture in the corner there that I got from Pixabay. It is an AI generated image, as you can see from the neck. Her neck looks very warped. AI always messes something up, but it's a gorgeous picture, so just for fun, I'm going to use this one. And I'm not going to go crazy trying to make it perfect or anything. Again, this is just to see how the different papers look and react to the same exact paint mix. I'm painting them at the same time to see how it goes. So I'm starting with alizarin crimson for the skin tone. Let's put a wash of red on. Sometimes I put shading in before. I may do that actually. Put a little shading on there. And I think I'll use some sap green. I'll get sap green. Only one side really has. It's like one side is shaded. A lot of the pictures I looked for, half the face is in the shade and the other one's light, and I think that won't can distort how this will look. So I wanted to have the face to look the same as much as possible on each side. So I'm gonna put shading on both sides of the face. So I'm not following that picture exactly. I'm going to do my own thing with it a little bit, so that both sides of the face look pretty much the same. So you can see the line there down the middle, the two papers. And I am going to start off by putting some water all over the face. This is what I normally would do for skin. Just get a nice coverage. And it takes, I can tell already, it takes a bit more water on the Arches, because the Arches paper just soaks up that water, just, like a vacuum, just takes it all in much faster. And even though I'm looking at it now from an angle, looking at the page, you can see that the water is getting absorbed faster on the arches side. And I don't think I can show you that on camera. I don't think it's going to come across, unfortunately. But yeah, you can see it in person. So let's see here. Start with, do a little bit of the sap green, a little bit of shading here. Just waiting it to absorb just a little bit. So I don't want to put on any paint too soon. And I think I just noticed I missed a spot here. There, okay, I think we have it now. Alright, so let me try putting a little shading here to drop there. So yes, it's running everywhere, so it's still very wet. Now the head is tilted, so the nose and the mouth is on the arches side. So really the Koviede side, because our head was tilted, I probably should have just gone straight up and down, but I figured it was good enough that you could see the two different, the way they look. Okay, now I'm going to add the alizarin crimson all over. I think I will use this brush. Let's put a light shade of red. And some of it's going to go under the paper, but that's okay. It is leaving a weird line there. So you can immediately what I notice as well is the arches side is very smooth. You don't see the bumps of the paper, whereas on the Koviede side, it's very bumpy. And I'm now doing it wet on dry, so a little less smooth than it would be, I think, if I'd done this with the water on there. So the Koviede paper, you can see wider, larger bumps, whereas the arches is very smooth. You don't see any bumps. Really it's a much smoother surface. Okay, so now I'm going to add some more green just to see how a different color reacts on the wet paper, and the same areas like where the eyebrow would go and the eye. And I'm going to do the same at the Koviede side. So the Koviede side, you can see the water is not absorbed into the paper as well, so the color is spreading out a bit further. So that's common with cheaper papers. It just doesn't absorb all the paint or the water very well. But you can work with it. It's not the end of the world. Now I'm going to add another coat of water, clear water, on top. And we're seeing how much papers can take. I'm going to add another layer of alizarin crimson. See, there's a lot of water on the left that I have to mop up because it's just not going in. Whereas on the arches side, the water went right in. Again, even on the third layer. So, it's already, and it's what the end result is going to be is as I put layers on, the arches is going to be more pigmented and vibrant much quicker. Whereas with the Koviede side, so I have to really add on thicker layers to get a dark color. Now she's looking very red, I know, but like I said, this is just to test this out. But I will try some lifting now to see if I can lift up. I'm on the arches paper. Now red is a notoriously difficult color to lift. But I am getting some pretty good, decent lifting here. So it is lifting up. You can see the nose there. Again, this is the arches side. Alright, so now let's try lifting on the Koviede paper. I'm going to try under the eyebrow area here. Okay, I'm getting some good lifts there as well. We have a little lift. Alright, so lifting is good. I think on both. On the lips as well. We're back to the arches, the lips. Nose a little bit. Yeah, so this is lifting quite well. Yes, made her very red. Alright, so next, again, I'm just doing testing, so I'm gonna have a funny looking red lady by the time I'm done with this. So next I want to try, let me see, ivory black for the hair. There's a little bit of red in there too by accident. Well, reddish black for the hair. The brush, I didn't clean it very well. Reddish gray. Yeah, let's put a shade all around. Let me get a good amount here, so make sure I have enough. I want to use the exact same mix on both, so make sure I have enough. On the ivory black. Okay, here we go. Yeah, that's very dark. Okay, and then on the, you can see, really see the ridges on the paper of the Koviede paper, and maybe be able to see how much smoother the paper is on the right and this side. And you can see right away I'm using the exact same mix of ivory, and you can see how much darker the arches paper is on the right because it's absorbing the color better. So this is like throughout with every color that it'll get more pigmented on the better paper right away, whereas this paper not so much. It takes longer and more layers and more work. And I don't know if you can, how well you can see the difference of that the face is pretty much dry. It's dried up, and you can see the ridges. I don't know if you see those ridges there on the left, how much smoother the paper on the right is, the arches. I mean, it's very clear in person. It's very, deep, like a texture there, which may or may not know. These are cold press, and cold press does have a bit of a texture, but the page on the right, the paper on the right is cold press. They're both cold press, but I'm just pointing out that there are significant differences in the way the cotton is pulled together. It's much tighter here and smoother, which leaves you with a smoother look. Alright, so now I'm going to move on to, let's do some eyes here. I'll use a darker mixture with, let's see, I'll use some burnt sienna. I'm not really following the actual picture very well. And some ivory black. I'm just doing my own thing with this picture. Just an inspiration. I'm just going to do the eyebrows. While the hair is drying, I'm going to put in the eyebrows here, making them a sienna brown color. Along with the eyes. The eyes in the picture are blue, and I'm making them brown in this one. Not sticking with the picture at all, really. Or at least just a little bit. Let me see. A little bit of a shading. I'll put a little bit of a shading here on the side of the nose, where the side of the nose would be. I'm going to do it on both sides, so get some color on both. And I'm going to be lifting a little bit again on each side. Alright, lifting is another issue that the cheaper paper is not so smooth with. It's difficult to get a good it's difficult to get a nice soft edge with the cheaper paper. Now this is the Archwell on this side, and when I put some burnt sienna on this side and I want to smooth this edge here, so I wet the brush, dried it off a bit so it's a damp brush. It still gives me a very sharp edge, like I'm not getting a gradual, it's difficult to get a gradual blend out. It's not so easy with the cheaper paper to get a good soft edge when you go back and just want it to fade out from dark to light. It's more difficult. Alright, now I'm just going to put in the lips real quick here. Just a little bit on that one. The hair, I'm going to go back to the hair, and it's still a bit damp. Now, it does dry very quickly. One of the blessings of cheap paper is that the paper does dry very quickly. So it's dry already, whereas this is still damp. Now, of course, the benefit of it staying damp is you can go back and edit it and lift it and add more color, and when it stays damp longer. But when it dries quicker, you know, not much of a wait in between. You don't have to sit here drying like this. So I notice when I'm using the better paper, I have to have my hand dryer, on right there in between steps. And because unlike the cheap paper, I don't have to really wait at all, and I can just paint right through, and very little breaks, very short breaks. Whereas with the expensive paper, you have to take breaks or dry it in between. So there's a bit more work that way with the more expensive paper. Alright, so I'm going to add a little more of the black, the ivory black here. Put another layer. another layer of black on top of brown we just did. And I'll go in and add a little more. Let's we're in crimson for the neck area. Let's put a little bit of a neck in there. Well, this is mainly arches here where the neck is, so. Add a little more ivory black there. So there you have it, the finished face with the two different brands of paper. Oops, let's pick that up by accident. I ruined it. A little bit got under there. Let me see if I can get that back there together. And I will lift that up so you can get a better look. I'm tilting it towards the light so you can see. Still wet and all, but you can just see there. So the end result is, again, the main thing that stands out to me here looking at it is how much smoother this paper is. Her face is much, and her hair, everything is smooth, even tone. And the paper here is very bumpy. So that's something to, keep in mind if that bothers you or not. You can still get a great picture with it. It's just in person it does look more bumpy and less and up close with botanicals and glass, flowers, whatnot. When you really need something smooth looking, it may be get on your nerves if you use the Koviede. But you can still do it, of course. It's not that you can't paint those things. It's just that it's not as smooth as this. And this is Arch's cold press, which is considered the bumpier version of the paper versus the hot press, which is the smooth. So it gets even smoother than this, the paper on the right. So this is the cold press version of Arch's. It's so much smoother in comparison to the Koviede. But again, the Koviede, the price is right, and you still get very good results, I think. Let me add one more, because I want to show that you can see the black came out kind of equal in intensity, but I noticed with other colors that it takes many more layers on the left, on the Koviede paper, and I don't know if you can see it here with the face, with the alizarin crimson on both. It's much faded on the Koviede than on the Arches. You can see it's very pink, very good solid pink color here, whereas over here with the same color it looks much more faded. And so I use the exact same mix, and you can see it's very white here. I don't know why that got so white. I don't know how that happened. So that the pigment is not going on as dark unless I get now with the eyes, I put a few layers on there, and I used a really thick amount of paint to get it dark. So you can get it dark, but in general, when you're doing washes like the all over, like the alizarin crimson, as I did here, it's much more faded on the cheap paper than on the good paper. Yeah, because I had put green here, like a little bit of sap green over here on the side, and for some reason it's gotten like white looking over here on the cheap paper. So one last thing I want to try or do here with this picture is I want to put one more over layer of the alizarin crimson. Put one more layer. She's going to be really red looking by the time she's done. She has a sunburn, so so I'm painting a gray-haired lady with a sunburn. That's what it's about. All right, so here we go. Alizarin crimson. One last. I'm using the same mix on both sides, and I'm going down for the final layer here of the alizarin crimson to see how it will look on both papers. Now she is nice and fully covered in red. Ooh, she's like glow in the dark now. So it looks okay. So already it's drying very quickly. I can see the Koviede on the left is drying quicker. But again, you can see how bumpy it looks. It's like bumpier than ever. And it's also more faded than ever. You see the color just like fades away. Seems to dry and get really faded. So you see how much lighter the left-hand side is. I don't know if it's coming across or not on the camera very well, but it just, yeah, on the right, it's getting a very nice, smooth, red tomato. Yeah, this looks like tomato skin. It's like nice, smooth, red coverage, whereas this side, it's very blotchy and bumpy and just, oh yeah, maybe I just take a piece of paper here and you can. It looks like she's got acne. It looks like she's got a lot of age spots. Not looking good, not looking healthy. But this side's looking like a nice, healthy person with red skin. That's all. You see the difference? I use the exact same mix of paint. The exact same paints. The exact same mix. So you can see you do have to struggle a bit to try to compensate for that. But again, you know, it is a cheaper paper. It is going to be challenging in that way. You're going to have, and I still get good results from it using it. So I'm still having fun with the cheaper paper, as I always do with cheap watercolor paper. I do enjoy it for certain projects, and but there is a huge difference between $45 versus $13 100% cotton cold press 300 grams or 140 pound, which these both are. There's still a big difference between them, and you know, it's obvious from the price. And yeah, so there you have it. That is how different they are in the results when painting with these two different watercolor papers. So I hope you found this interesting. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.